Death by Donuts, the gluten-free cooking show. I'm Rachel Tastic, and today we are celebrating our 1-year birthday! Yay! 1 year ago, we launched this channel with our very first recipe. We did our flour mixture and our brownie recipe, and if you'd like to see either of those, you can click up here. So today, in celebration of our very special day, we are making our first ever donut recipe! I know, it's been a year and somehow we haven't done a donut recipe, but today all of that is going to change. The ingredients you will need will be 1/3 of a cup of butter or dairy-free alternative, half a cup of almond milk, 2 tablespoons of oil, plus about a liter more for frying, 2 cups of flour. If you'd like to see my gluten-free flour mixture, you can go right here to see that recipe. Half a cup of sugar or an alternative. I am using xylitol, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. And for the icing, you will need half a cup of butter or an alternative, half a cup of sugar or an alternative. Like I said, I'm using xylitol, 1/4 cup of almond milk, and of course, rainbow sprinkles, pink food coloring, and today I'm using strawberry flavoring. Now let's get mixing! Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is melt our butter over a medium to low heat. Alright, once the butter is melted, we're going to add our milk. And our oil. And lastly, that little bit of vanilla. Now you're going to want to stir this until it's just nicely combined, and then remove it from the heat and set it aside until we're ready for it later. Alright, so now in a separate bowl we're going to combine our flour and our sugar and our baking powder. Mix it all together with a fork. Alright, and now you're going to make a hole in the center, a little bit of like a well, and then into that hole we're going to pour our butter mixture. And now, combine that all together gently, bringing in the walls of your well until it makes a thick dough. Alright, so now that your dough has got a nice thick consistency, we're going to put it into a Ziploc bag, or if you have an icing bag, you can use that. To make it convenient for those of us who don't have all the fancy tools and equipment, you can just put it in a Ziploc bag. And now you can control how big you want your tip to be, depending on how high you cut your bag. I'm gonna go right here. There we go. So that'll give us a nice wide hole, which will give us some nice thick round donuts. So you're gonna want to heat up your oil. Depending on the size of your pot, you may need more than the 1 liter, but you want it deep enough that your donuts are going to have enough room to float to the top. To test if your oil is hot enough, take a wooden handle or a wooden spoon and dip it into the oil. And if it bubbles up all around, you know that your oil is hot enough. Lay down a whole lot of paper towels to catch all the excess oil and grease, because there's going to be a lot. Now, I have found that the easiest way is to squirt your donut directly onto your spatula. Big, round donut shape. And then place it carefully into the oil. The oil is very hot and it can splash, so be very gentle, very careful. go. Let it cook for about 3 minutes per side. And once it reaches a nice golden brown, you can take it out. Depending on the size of your donut and the heat of your oil, it may take more or less than the 3 minutes, so just keep a close eye on it. Then put it over on to the paper towel so that all that excess oil can be absorbed while it cools. Now, while our donuts are cooling, we can make our icing. First, we're going to melt our butter on the stove in a small pot. Now we're going to add our sugar and mix until it is fully dissolved. And now we will add in our almond milk and bring it to a soft boil for about 2 to 5 minutes. For this part, you're going to want to keep stirring as constantly as possible to avoid any burning. And if it does seem like it's burning, turn the heat down a little bit. And now that everything is well combined and a little bit thickened, the next step is to remove from the heat, and we're going to add our flavoring and our coloring. We have strawberry flavoring. This stuff is highly concentrated, so we don't need very much, just the teeniest little drop. But if you have different flavoring, you can check on the label how concentrated it is and decide for yourself how much you need. We have rose pink, so this should be quite bright. Also, don't need very much of that. A little bit. And now for our tiny little teeny drop of flavoring. Ooh, it's potent. Just one drop. Ooh. Now my fingers smell like strawberry. Now what we're going to do is transfer our icing into a little bowl so that we can decorate our donuts. Now comes the fun part. We are going to decorate. So we are going to take a donut, drop it in our glaze, make sure it gets nicely covered, bring it over to our plate, and cover it with sprinkles. Let's keep going. Definitely looks a little bit like sweet and sour Chinese food, chicken balls. But, you know, just don't go in expecting that that's what it'll taste like, because then you'll be disappointed and confused. And there we have it, our very first strawberry glazed sprinkled donut. Let's try one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I just want one. I always take a way bigger bite than I should. I know I'm gonna have to talk about what I'm eating, but I'm always so excited about what I'm about to eat that I take like a huge bite. And I know it's rude to talk with your mouth full. This is bliss. It's crispy on the outside, dense, chewy, doughy on the inside, the sweet strawberry glaze, and crunchy little sprinkles. It's everything I've been dreaming of. I hope you guys make these at home and that you enjoy them as much as I'm going to enjoy them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy 1-year birthday to Death by Donuts. Feel free to check out all of our other videos and subscribe to me if you'd like to see more gluten-free. Happy birthday to us. Yay! We can cut.
Cutting.
I breathed a sigh of relief and they all fell down. Shut up, Gertrude. You shut up right now. I do not care about your low battery power.